This is Michael Misa, and he's just wrapped up one of the best draft-eligible seasons in the OHL that we have ever seen. With the NHL Draft coming up in a matter of weeks, it's time to talk about the clear number 2 prospect in the draft, behind just Matthew Schaefer. Misa comes in as the most talented pure skill forward in the entire draft, and he is uniquely able to create high-danger scoring chances with his hands, skating ability, and his mind. Most people realize that he is a very high-ceiling, high-skill center. However, there is more to Misa's game than just point production, which we will certainly dive into in this video. So for fans of the San Jose Sharks and Chicago Blackhawks, you're going to want to pay attention to this video, because chances are Michael Misa will be the next elite forward prospect added to your pipeline, and will certainly become a franchise cornerstone for years to come. Michael Misa has been an elite NHL prospect dating all the way back to his minor hockey years in the Toronto area. Misa spent 3 seasons as a member of the Mississauga Senators AAA team, where he dominated his peers. As a 14-year-old playing U16 AAA hockey, Michael Misa recorded 43 points in 27 games, including 16 goals. In 3 playoff games with the Senators, he had 5 points as well. But where he really made a name for himself was at the OHL Cup, where he was absolutely dominant with 20 points in 7 games. Growing up, Michael Misa always had some great competition with his brother Luke Misa, who was a 5th-round pick by the Calgary Flames in the 2024 NHL Draft. Luke, just like his brother Michael, is a very skilled forward who is able to put up some pretty remarkable stats in the OHL. The saying "iron sharpens iron" rings true in this family. Luke was always looked at as an incredible player coming up, and there is no doubt that he played a significant role in making his brother Michael Misa the elite talent that he is today. So with how dominant he was in the AAA ranks, Michael Misa was granted exceptional status and was able to step into the Ontario Hockey League a year earlier than the rest of his age group. Misa joined a list of 7 former players who had all been granted exceptional status. The names among them included John Tavares, Aaron Ekblad, Connor McDavid, Sean Day, Joe Veleno, Shane Wright, Connor Bedard, and Misa himself. It was some pretty insane company for Misa to be a part of, and he certainly hopes to have a career similar to the top names on the list, compared to some at the bottom. Misa's first season in the OHL with Saginaw was very impressive to say the least. He instantly became one of the most productive forwards on the team, and he was able to score 22 goals and add 34 assists for 56 points in 45 games. It was one of the more productive rookie seasons for exceptional status players, and Misa had established himself as an elite NHL prospect for the 2025 draft. He also made Canada's U17 national team, where he was able to record 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points in 7 games. What was perhaps most exciting though was that Misa's production in the playoffs was impressive as well. He had 3 goals and 5 assists for 8 points in 11 playoff games with Saginaw, and he was primed to have an exceptional sophomore season the following year. However, as a sophomore in the OHL, Misa left a little bit to be desired compared to how dominant he was as a rookie. He recorded 75 points in 67 games, which is very impressive, but it wasn't much more of a jump from his rookie season. He also had 11 points in 17 playoff games, which again did not scream like he had improved majorly. However, the season was a tremendous success for the Saginaw Spirit, as Misa helped them win a Memorial Cup. By this point, Misa was looked at as a top 5 player in the upcoming draft. However, this past season, his draft-eligible one that is, his production absolutely skyrocketed. But we'll touch more on that a little bit later. So with Michael Misa, the name of the game is skill. He is so talented with the puck on his stick, and he's going to be one of the most exciting players to watch in the NHL once he hits his peak. Similar to the effect that Ivan Demidov had in the most recent draft, Misa is just going to have some highlights that make fans' jaws drop. For defenders, Misa is such a difficult player to defend because he has so much creativity in his game. He's a dual threat to shoot or pass, and he's able to cut through defensive units like butter while making the perfect pass to his teammate or firing a shot home. What has gotten him so far in his hockey career is the fact that he has the physical abilities in terms of his skill, but also the smarts to know where to go and where to move the puck. His playstyle is very cerebral, and it makes him a threat from the low danger scoring chance areas, because he is able to get the puck into a prime scoring opportunity from seemingly nothing. He also has an excellent skating stride to him to go along with some insanely fun to watch edge work. It makes him incredibly dangerous off the rush. Misa can do it all, and it's a large reason why he was looked at as a potential first overall pick throughout this OHL season. This year with Saginaw, Michael Misa was able to put up a ridiculous 62 goals and 72 assists in 65 games. He led the OHL in scoring by 10 total points, and he also recorded the highest points per game clip at 2.06 points per game. He was absolutely unbelievable, and it really is impressive to see considering he had somewhat of a disappointing second year. Unfortunately for Saginaw, their season ended abruptly as they only had 4 playoff games where Misa was able to record 2 goals and an assist. But nonetheless, he had put together such an impressive season offensively to deem himself worthy of a top pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Michael Misa also has some very impressive off-ice skills, which makes him a team's dream. He's been noted as being an incredibly hard worker who is always determined to get better. I mean, when someone is this good, that probably goes without saying. However, there are some examples where this isn't the case, and it explains why some of the exceptional status players do not pan out at the NHL level. He has also earned the trust and respect from his organization and coaching staff to wear the C for Saginaw. The Spirit had another great option in Zane Parekh to take this leadership opportunity, so it speaks volumes about the type of player Michael Misa is and the type of leader he can be for his team. And his work ethic and leadership also showed itself in-game. With him on the ice, he's doing everything he can to get possession back for his team, where he can then use his offensive abilities to make some magic on the ice. It's one of the traits that, in my opinion, makes his game very translatable to the next level. When projecting Misa's game to the NHL, I see a player who is going to drive offense for his team and be the one with the puck on his stick, gaining the offensive line while also orchestrating the team's offense. He has so much speed that he can be a one-man break-in and breakout as well, having the ability to just do it himself and go coast to coast. When you see players like this, the ones that have the puck on their stick and are often tasked with gaining the offensive zone, most of the time they are a playmaker more than a sniper. However, Michael Misa is a dual threat. I of course think he will pile up the assist numbers at the NHL level, but he is much more of a goal scorer compared to many of other similar NHL players, at least when they were in their junior seasons as well. I could see him being the type of center that could give between 30 and 40 goals every single year, while also threatening the 90 to 100 point area. In terms of NHL comparisons, I see mixes of a bunch of different players for him. To me, he has a very similar game to Matthew Barzal, although I would say he has more of a goal-scoring touch compared to Barzal, and is overall likely to exceed his production in the NHL. I also see some Braden Point and Tim Stützle in his game, just because he has so much creativity with the puck while also being the engine to break into the offensive zone. As an absolute ceiling, I think Misa has the ability to be a Jack Hughes type of player, but again, I see him closer to the previous names mentioned. In every comparison, however, the common theme is that they have a ton of skill and all put up some incredible points at the NHL level. Across different scouting outlets, Misa looks like he is all but guaranteed to go second overall in the draft behind Schaefer. There are a couple of scouting sources though that have him ranked as the #1 prospect in the draft. The lowest he is ranked is number 5, and it seems extremely unlikely that he would fall that far in the draft. The New York Islanders have the first overall selection in the 2025 NHL Draft, and whether they pick Misa or Schaefer, it's all going to boil down to what the team decides they need more. Let me just get this out of the way. I do think Matthew Schaefer is the best prospect in this draft, but I can see why a team would want to reach on the insanely high ceiling of Misa. While I think Schaefer will be selected first overall, it will be an interesting storyline to follow up until the draft in June. On San Jose, a forward core of William Eklund, Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, and Michael Misa would be unbelievable. Then you consider the other good prospects coming up around them, and the Sharks forward core would likely have the brightest future in the NHL. For the Blackhawks, if you were somehow able to select Misa, he would be the perfect partner to have alongside Connor Bedard. It's incredibly hard to find players that match Bedard's skill level, but long-term, Misa is the type of prospect that could do it. I don't think he will make it to number 3, but if he does, that pick should be a no-brainer. For whichever team ends up selecting Michael Misa, they will be getting a franchise cornerstone that can help them compete for a Stanley Cup one day. And with how talented he is and how impressive he has been in junior, he may be ready to step into the NHL as soon as next season. 2024-2025 was quite the season for Michael Misa. He was able to pick up some hardware, including the most outstanding player in the OHL, the OHL points leader, and also the Scholastic Player of the Year. Combine this with a Memorial Cup championship, and Misa's junior career has been nothing short of exceptional, fitting for a player of his status. If you enjoyed this video and you want more just like this one, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out a ton to grow the channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.